everyone, welcome to the stream. I'm here to wish you guys a happy Sunday fun day. We're here to do a chill stream on the Meowlands farm. So I have the lovely Lady Rain, and we also have Momo, beautiful Momo here as well. And we're gonna play some Stardew Valley and just chill and relax with you guys. If you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo, cheers to you all. Me and myself a margarita, so it is wonderful and lovely. And all right, let me go grab the ladies and we'll get started. But yeah, hello. We're live.
We're totally not playing a different game other than Stardew.
I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, I haven't even started up Stardew, to be fair, so you're allowed.
There we go. Technically, you can have it running both of them. You can run two games at the same time. Well, on Steam, I mean. I'm on Steam too, I mean.
Okay, the game is now up. So whenever you guys are ready, no rush.
Yeah, on my way.
No rush, just chill Sunday.
I'm just grateful that Brooke finally moved.
Oh, should give you your space back so you can do things and stuff.
Yes. I'm just gonna order food. How rude. Fuck, I forgot how slow I am.
Why is my watch is like, what's going on with you?
What's the thing I was gonna do? Oh god, new item. Wood chipper. We don't need that, Robin.
People, humans. So hi, Big Gravity. How are you doing? Welcome to the stream.
I went to bed with milk.
Are you trying to check my mail and struggling? I died last night? What is it talking about?
A new viewer has joined us? What?
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
every time.
Oh, a little extra luck.
A wood chipper. That's a waste. Who in their life would use a wood chipper to turn hardwood into regular wood?
Right?
I don't know. Catch me, squid. Willy.
Can I just find one in the trash, please?
I know, right?
I'm gonna go see if I can catch up.
Catch us all some squids. Just kidding. I'm getting ready to start stream. Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Turtle, for the 48 months. I didn't hear it go off. Maybe it's not working.
Turtle power.
I don't think I heard the notification. Yeah, I don't think it's working. Hold on, let me restart the bot.
Broke it.
Yeah, of course things are broken. That's just the kind of day it's gonna be for me.
No, Turtle broke it, not you.
Turtle broke the bot.
Yep.
With his 48 months. Thank you, Turtle. Oh, drink water, posture check. I don't have water with me, but cheers. Mistakes were made. I forgot to bring my water in here. Posture check. Yes. Thank you, one random blue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, let's see if my bot's gonna work today. I don't think it's going to. I think it's gonna be one of those days that it just doesn't work.
Just one of those days.
That's my day in general.
We have the cards active.
We have a baby dino egg. Say hi to the babies, because, you know, it's cold outside.
Wait, there's dinos?
Yeah, we have a dino.
We don't have a heater, do we?
No. We have no heaters.
We can put a stove in there. We can put a stove in there and see if it works.
I don't think they last though. I think they die.
No, the from the house.
Oh, you mean the fireplace?
Yeah.
Oh.
No, it's
Right.
gotta be like a radiator heater thing. There's like a special thing for it.
I know,
That
but I'm
Marty
gonna
sold.
try.
She's wondering if we can hack it. Is what she's saying.
I don't
Hi
know.
there. Because I know I can
Also,
put it
that
here.
duck feather needs to go to the community center.
Yes, I got it in my pockets.
There you go.
I will put it in the
You happy now?
place of things. Oh, it's so cute. See if it works.
How would we see though?
I don't know. It's a really good question. I don't really know.
Like, would they not freeze? Oh, the door is open. That won't help.
There's a bunch of stuff in here for the.
the whole season.
I'd say
Well,
for
they're
guns
just
are in the
gonna get
community
nuts
center,
at
but
first
it
and
looks
they
like
will
it's
all
all been
die.
taken.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Catch a squid.
You just buy new ones.
I hope you're doing good, Wonder in the Blue. My Grubby, I hope you're having a
They
wonderful,
are
chill
animals, right?
Sunday. I know you're getting to start streaming too. Good luck.
I mean, they might add some flavor to them.
Don't think so, but yeah, sure.
All the eggplants. And then we'll make our way over to the Moomoo's.
Do we sell the holly?
Probably need to keep at least one or something, but yeah.
4?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll keep some.
Don't
Oh,
you?
Fuck off, cat.
I'm typically a hoarder and keep at least 1 or 2 of each item, so I'm sure we'll find more holly then. Momo, what did you
What?
tell me?
I'm sorry.
Dad, she's so mean to me. You guys hear this, right? Snappy chicken nugget.
Not Mono.
Yes,
Okay.
we have chicken nuggets. Gotta get all the
Lovely
milk.
cats. Okay,
Milk.
I emptied.
They need
I
to.
don't
We need to
remember
get
what we
like.
were doing.
We need to get like cocoa plants and be able to craft chocolate milk. That'd be awesome. Is that a thing? I don't think it's a thing yet.
Do we have rubies? No, we
I
don't.
don't know which cows I've hit and which ones I haven't. That one hit. Okay. That one's like got his head stuck in the wall for some reason.
Extremely rare and powerful goop known as ectoplasm.
Some
Live
large
in the
milk.
desert.
Don't
Don't
need it
think
for
we have
anything
that either.
particular, but we're gonna save some stuff in here. And we've got cold milk in here. And regular milk. I'll put a few in there. Rest returning to cheese.
Oh,
Cheese.
we have to water the
Cheese. Cheese.
Yeah,
Cheese. And return the milk container. Taco Bell chicken nuggets. Hi, Turtle. Welcome to the stream. Just wanted to ignore the resub. No, it does not. The bot just isn't working. I'm frustrated, so I don't even know how to fight with it. So it's being dumb. I don't need to do it. I can do this.
Oh,
Since it's
I'm
winter, we
sorry.
should probably like have a chest in the greenhouse so I can put the better watering can in there.
Oh yeah.
How am I already low on energy?
Alright, I need my notes to see where we're at on this farm. Their nuggets were okay. Not worth it. Oh.
Yeah.
I forgot they were coming out with those. I go to Taco Bell. I don't think about chicken nuggets, to be fair.
I don't
This is the wrong
like
one.
chicken nuggets in general.
I That's
The only time I do is Chick-fil-A nuggets.
I
I
don't
love
know.
their
I'm more of
nuggets.
a chicken roast kind of person, I suppose.
Okay, so we're right here.
And a burger. Give me a hamburger over chicken nuggets anytime.
I know I'm low on iron when I start craving a fucking McDouble. Or not a McDouble, quarter pounder is usually what I go with.
I mean, to be fair, in the Netherlands we have many more like snacks that go into the fryer. We have like bami hapje, which is basically fried noodles in a quart, which is so good with mayo. We have
Not yet.
which
It's
is
being
like
tested in my
a
city
sausage
only.
kind of thing.
Oh.
And we have croquette and bitterballen, which is like a croquette.
You're special.
How do you say? It's like
Croquette.
yeah, croquette. Yeah, it's like a. It also has the crunchy coat, but inside there's a meat and potato kind of filling.
Oh yeah.
So we have many of those snacks. It's a Dutch thing, I think. There's a movie called Flodders in America, which where they introduced the bitterballen. Bitter balls is how you would translate it, but they are not bitter, so I don't know why. But that's what they call them. And yeah, so they introduced the bitter balls in America, which is kind of funny. And everybody burns the roof of their mouth because they're hot as fuck inside.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Because the outside feels cold, and then people just bite into it, and it's
They
like
don't have
like
it.
a gooey ragu inside.
Huh.
You'd like it, Mona. Rain too, probably. Okay, I need to go find stuff. The ectoplasm or a ruby. And we have to catch a squid. Where do we
Copy.
get squid?
I'm in
Let's
the
fix this thing.
Ocean? Oh, it is. It is during winter. Yeah, beach.
At night.
Fix this thing. No, not there.
Night.
Between 6 p.m.
No,
and 2
what the
a.m.
heck?
Right. Well, that's now.
Trying to fix my
Okay,
bot.
I'm trying to catch some forest. I have not had any luck so far.
I'll join you.
Transfer it over here.
Hey, we can go to the quarry.
And
Oh yeah.
What the fuck?
I gotta log it.
I didn't know. Is that because we unlocked the? Did we? Huh? Is it because we unlocked the cards?
No, we unlocked the quarry.
With what?
I don't remember.
Oh, it's the townhouse. The community center. We did something.
Don't know which one it is.
Does it matter if you stand on the beach or on the
Oh.
Okay.
Never mind.
I was playing the non-vanilla version a couple days back, and there was this thing called Insta Glitch and Insta Hit, and oh my god, that was so much better. But it does feel like it's not a game anymore, and you're just.
Well,
clicking.
I got one squid.
You got a squid.
Are squids hard or easy?
Moderate, but I'm also using a different pole than you are.
Oh, right.
Okay, so I got one part of the bot fixed. Let me go back and read chat
the
real quick.
fiberglass one right now.
Nobody got the Pokemon. That's not fair. All right, next part of the bot.
Oh, that's
the
not the one I wanted.
part.
You're special. Okay, not all the commands are working.
You're special. Me.
At least that one's working. Or didn't it? No, I'm not sure.
Now.
Oh, we have to go.
That's working. Thank you. Because it was giving me invalid such and such and such and such on my end. It's being ugly still, so I have to make sure it's actually doing what it's supposed to. It looks like it is now. It was just being weird about it. It didn't go bro when 6 joined. Did he just break it?
Me neither. I drank coffee, but
I think I'm just like
at
laying
least I'm
here,
gonna
so
make it towards the field.
I'm gonna crash and whoever's house this
Hi
is.
there.
Hi. Oh no, Mono! Oh, I gotta make it in.
Go to Mono's, yeah.
Oh,
Let's see.
Oh, we did it!
I really made it.
Did we all make it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Momo and I were like way behind. Oh dang, I'm on level 1.
Ah, the hugs for 6. Let's see.
Bruh.
There. Okay, so it's sort of working. Oh, I think you just broke it again. Did you hear that? It yelled halfway and it quit.
Wait, it yelled?
What?
What
It went right and it cut off.
Which one?
Let's see.
My entrance sound?
Yep,
Oh.
it broke again. Rain broke it. It's gonna restart it.
Fine.
I think it just needs a restart now. I think it's connected. It just needs a restart now. Which takes a hot minute.
Very
Still
good
loading.
place today. Do not do any ore thingies.
Come on, computer, work. Do, 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 do. Oh,
Perch
a
frenzy.
perch frenzy. Gotta go catch a perch.
After I sell these fish.
And actually, I'll sell those.
So where is a better pickaxe? Is it still in the mine?
Probably.
I have one. I think Rose has one in her chest because she was the other person
Really?
that does the mines.
Right.
She was the miner, you're the farmer. So there might be one in her chest.
Okay, I'll come look at that in a bit.
Thanks for the retweet, guys. Thank you,
Because,
thank you, thank you.
We can go to the quarry now, so it might be better to get some things. Some stones. I am not at the right place.
Where did you go?
I went to the museum instead of the city.
Oh,
the
no.
community center.
Oh my god.
I was like, wait, what?
Okay. Bot says it's connected correctly now. Let's see. There you go. Until Rain gets in there and says something to break stand. We're gonna blame Rain. Hey, it didn't break that time.
And it also screamed in chat for me.
Yeah, it screamed barely a minute ago. It was like, and I'm like, what? That's how I know it broke. Mm-hmm. Momo.
Oh, that was because of the chat. I didn't activate it myself.
No.
Don't get mad.
Hi, Dave. Welcome. I say hi. Hi. I don't know who I've milked and who I haven't. Oh God.
Do we have any rabbits yet?
No, I gotta go buy one. It's Wednesday though. I think she might be there.
Not sure. Did we have the workbench?
How's it going? It's going pretty good. It's pretty crazy today. But we made time for some Stardew.
Should we get one? It's pretty handy.
Depends on how much it is.
2,000.
What are we
Oh,
getting?
oh, I got a copper pan. The boulder disappeared.
Oh.
The boulder! Sorry.
Let's see. Okay,
Boulders.
so those guys are done being taken care of.
Hey, I got a tuna, so I can smoke a tuna for the raccoon.
Nice. Oh no. Oh wait, didn't we get it here? Wait, now I'm confused. Where is the...
Man, I walk so
thing?
slow these days.
Oh, yeah.
Mono, are you good with getting a workbench? The one we can put next to the chest so we don't have to take out the inventory thingies?
You can if you want. How much is it?
2,000.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. I think. Hold on, let me see. How much is the rabbit?
Oh, shit.
8,000, but we got enough.
There.
Okay,
Just
cool.
need one.
We'll just have to buy sheep and pigs later, probably. But we can go ahead and buy the rabbit.
Oh, that's what we're gonna do, right?
There.
It's snowing, so I have no clue on...
Let's see.
Oh, wait, there's some.
We already have goats and cows and ducks, but we don't have a pig and a sheep yet.
I got 5 iron ore from the water. Nice.
I'll buy the sheep first because that'll leave us some money. The pig will take all our money. So we'll wait until we have more money to buy the pig.
Fine.
I got some oak resin from the tree at the
Right.
Yeah, thank you.
I see the thing over there.
You see the thing?
Yeah. You're still sharing your screen.
Right?
Rabbits.
You're sharing your monitor.
Yep. Forgot about that.
Corvus beak. I need some periwinkle. I think. Oh, so I guess we were doing crab pots and trying to get periwinkles last time.
What's this? Oh, this is a different mine. Yeah, let's leave that for now.
Yeah, you don't want to be in there right now. It's worth it though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is it about?
You get the golden
Let's go
sites
see.
that way.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Got to check all these trash cans. Gonna take a detour. You unlock the sewer hatch with the rusty key. Da-da-da! Let's go talk to Cruz. Human visitor, this is most unusual. I'm Krobus, merchant of rare and exotic goods. I find things here and sell them. Care to buy something? Let's see. He's got void eggs. We don't need those.
Stop
Do
it.
We
I
could.
think I might ask Krobus to live with me.
Okay.
Can you ask him to live with you?
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
you
a
can be
lost.
roommates with Krobus.
You can what?
You can woo Krampus.
No, you can't woo Krobus.
But you can be
You
roommates?
can be friends with him though, and be roommates.
Aw.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I forgot he had star drops and they're so expensive.
A single star drop.
He's got recipes too that are cheap. Crystal floor and wicked statue.
Bye, William.
I forget how you leave, but you leave this way. Anybody checked the beach lately?
Yes,
I
I
haven't
did.
checked it, but I'm down here.
Oh.
I'm fishing.
She said she checked it yesterday.
I mean, not the right side though. I only went down a bit, but I didn't see anything from the corner of my screen. Let me check if I have the visual thing open right now, like the bigger screen. I do. It's on minus 75. Doesn't get any
Oh,
better on
well,
this.
Lulu.
That's not the one I want.
Button. Oh,
Good job.
I didn't do that. I didn't do it. I didn't do it. Alright, I'm picking up the coral on the right side of the beach.
Holy fuck.
Ooh, eggplants. Wait, the eggplants regrow.
Yeah.
They're so randomly spread though.
Wait, are they? I didn't think I had.
No, they were the random seeds that you put there.
Oh, that's right. We're just mixed seeds.
Shit, I'm out of energy. Fuck. I need food. Wait, I have...
You
Yes.
had food in your hand.
Which one?
You had like a soup thing in your hand.
Yeah, but that gives +1 fishing, so I was saving that.
Gotcha.
But I forgot I picked up the jelly, so might as well eat some jelly.
Alright, well, I got another dinosaur egg.
Woo!
Yeah, we hatched one too. Or not hatched one, we laid one. I just put it in the chest for now.
Sweet.
Wasn't sure what we needed it for yet.
I think we still need one to go to the museum.
Wait. Oh, this artifact has already been delivered to the museum, that's why.
I make some money tonight. Apparently I can't even craft kegs yet, so I should be trying to like craft little sprinklers or something for our winter crops. Or we should just be planting winter crops, but I don't know if we found any more seeds yet.
I haven't. I think. No.
How is he heading towards me when he's been in the same spot forever? This fucker eating my
Yeah, we don't have any more powder melon seeds yet.
I'll put the watering can in your chest for now, Rain, since it's closest to the the thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Greenhouse.
Yes.
Motherfucker. I need squid.
I
Need
put
squid?
wood in the chest. Oh, squid.
Huh?
Yeah, no, the squid. Yeah.
I know I have one in my chest. I wanted to make sure that I had at least 4.
Oh, for when Rose joins again.
I'm just trying to catch everyone the squid.
It's already time.
Wait, I should do it differently.
Should probably just put it over by the chest next to the other thingy, the blacksmith stuff.
This? That's just ores.
Oh. Yeah.
It's mostly the wood things that come out of this, right? But we don't have everything in those chests, so it might not work as we want it.
We might just have to move the things over.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I already made one of those.
Bedtime, by the way.
Okay.
Oh crap.
I'll just quickly eat this in.
I hope I can make it to bed.
Man.
I'm running.
Steve.
She did.
Barely. Yay.
Does smoke fish sell for a lot? Let's see.
Some of it.
100.
I think it depends on what it is. Chub ain't anything special.
I guess yeah, it would be. It should sell like a chub, like non-smoked and smoked to see what's better. If it's worth the effort and the coal.
I'm gonna throw a tuna into the. Oh my god.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, Spirit's very displeased.
Alright, I'm smoking a tuna. It needs to go to the raccoon.
Right, raccoon.
So y'all better take it to the raccoon.
Yes. Wait, did we not do that last
And yourself? No.
No, that wasn't an issue. I just want to make sure that we make sure.
That was the wrong button.
Raccoon.
There.
The coal.
You get the cookies, turtle. Congrats.
Go to the raccoon.
Yeah.
It's gold. Cheers. Is it the last thing we have to give to him?
No, we need periwinkle too.
Right. Oh, right. So we needed to put the... Or did you already do that? Put
what?
The crab
pots
at the beach.
Crab pots. I believe I have them somewhere.
Yeah, they're here on the river. So I'll take them with me to the beach.
Hold on. Let me see, because I think periwinkle is actually the river.
I don't know if we're able to catch them at home, though.
Any fresh water body of water. So yeah, they need to stay.
And we just need the... Oh, we need the bug meat. Was it in here? Did I put it? Oh, 4 bait. Just 4 bait left. Okay, I guess it's time to go into the mines.
Well, that's nice. You apparently could put periwinkle in the fish pond.
What?
Oh.
And they reproduce.
Wait, are they done? Oh, no, they're not. They looked kind of done-ish, these.
They're getting there.
I'm gonna plant some mahogany.
There. Now I'm just gonna go find some seeds.
I need energy, because I exhausted myself yesterday. Let's see what
I have watermelon seeds here.
Nice. Do you? Do it.
There you go. I had 2.
Thank you.
Ooh.
You planted outside of the range of the
No.
sprinkler.
Well,
Oh, just move it. Just move it. I see what you can do. We
You can move
it up.
seeds? Since when?
No, no, you can move the sprinkler.
Aw, but that messes up the whole pattern.
I know.
Okay.
But for now, I think it is the easier way to do it. But then we have one overlapping though.
Yep.
it's okay.
It's gonna be weird.
Or it should be like here.
Like she can plant all the way around it.
Come on,
Wait,
baby.
where was it?
I'll let you organize them.
Baby.
No, I was just like 1, 2, so 1, 2, and then we need to. We can keep the pattern, I think.
You're the
Put one
farmer,
here.
so. Well, no, they can need to be 2 spaces apart.
Right.
But then you're not gonna be able to plant things up in this area. You can't plant.
Ugh. We'll do it like this then. I don't care. Because it has to be. It has to be here and there. But then the seed isn't. No, huh? My brain is not braining. Yeah, we can do one here and then.
Okay.
Can I? I'm unsure.
That was just gonna be the oddball.
Well, no, we still have to get one there. Wait.
There you go.
Because one is still like unfinished now. See?
Mm-hmm.
So we can still plan around this one. And then this one. And we can put one up here still. So it still would be symmetry, but the tree is in the way for that. So it will be a bit weird. But yeah. We'll just put Haley there. So it won't look so weird. Yeah, here. On this one. Right? No, the other one. Oh, but there's a tree there too. Well, let's leave it like this. Fuck it. It's one season. We'll be fine.
Then
I'm still on the quest to find food. Food. I could eat a chub if I cook it. Let's see what that does.
you probably have food in your chest from when I was passing out cheese.
Oh, you did. I forget the cheese.
Oh,
Thank you, cheese lady.
you're welcome.
Yum. Wow, yum, yum, yum. I need my water bucket.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay. Thank you. I was feeling dehydrated already. No.
If anybody wants animal credits for the day, feel free.
I'm doing my watering task. We need to get the This is so much though. Oh, but we can make it.
That's funny. That top sprinkler, there's like a rock there or something.
Didn't we have 2 watering cans? Or weren't we working for a second one in winter? We were.
Right.
Does anyone
don't
not
know.
have one?
I don't have one at all. I don't own one.
Okay, and the ones you do find, are they the normal ones? Like in chests?
Mm-hmm.
Because then I think we were saving for animals and for upgrading the watering can, so we have at least 2 for our next spring. I think. Could be wrong.
Now we just gotta find those seeds. I wonder if we can. I don't think we can buy powder melon seeds, but makes me wonder if there's some other
I put
seed
the
that grows
watering
this time of
can in
year
here.
now.
Not sure. I can sell this anchor, right?
A
'Cause
wild spinda.
If it
nobody will
doesn't
ask.
say Gunther, then yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do the test with the chub, see what it does. Sun setting. This chub and this chub. And we'll see. Oh, I keep forgetting those other two. Because there's a thing in between. Charcoal thing.
Please be a squid. Please be a squid. It was. Alright, I just need one more.
Woo!
Oh, that's squid. You got lucky. Oh, let's see. Yoke. There we go.
Wow. Suddenly the Dutch version or We Are the Daughters of Triton is in my head. Ja, wij zijn de dochters van Triton. De koning der zee heeft vanzelf genaamd. The fuck, that was super random. Thanks, Head.
This will make your life so much easier next season, Momo.
What? The watering things?
Yes.
Thank you. Looks pretty. Where did we put clay again?
Probably in the mining stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't take it though. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, weird. I forgot that I had the tree sap as well. What was that? What was the whoosh?
Me.
What was
I'm
that?
joking. I have no idea.
Oh.
Oh, it was probably the furnace.
Yeah, the furnace makes wishing out noises.
I need more buckwheat. Okay, so tomorrow I have to go to the mines.
A new chicken hatched. It looks odd. It's a baby dino. Or is it the void one? Oh, it's the void one, I bet.
Is it?
What am I gonna call it?
Heckabella. Oh my god.
Oh no, I don't see Rose's I don't see the... She didn't... I don't think she left the pickaxe in the chest.
I can hand you
You
mine.
can go to the mayor's office and
Alright.
retrieve it.
Chicken name.
That is a thing for tomorrow, probably.
Void.
Wait, can we roast corals? Let me check. Or science. Nope. It's getting late.
I'm
Yeah.
still fishing.
Wow, it's yours.
You know what? Let's stop that one.
You know, do you guys know this? The Fentimans raspberry lemonade. It's really good.
Mm-mm.
It's like
Ooh.
it's what do they call it? Botanically brewed
Huh,
lemonade.
interesting.
Yeah, this is a brand, and we have it for like ginger ale as well,
Mm.
with raspberry and herbal spices. I love raspberry.
Alright, I left the pickaxe in
Smells
the
so
mining
good.
chest. Let's steal it.
Mhm.
Oh, thanks.
See if I can make it to bed on time.
Stevie, Stevie.
I don't think I'm gonna make it.
Rain.
I hit the wrong button.
Oh no. Oh, you did it though, didn't you?
I did it. Yeah, I almost didn't though.
Oh my god, but I'm staying. Oh.
You
Oh.
forgot to hit yes.
Yes. I just walked into the bed and I clicked no, but I think I made it. I made it just in
You
time.
did.
Holy shit. Let's see.
Yes, I can craft kegs and an oil maker finally.
So we have halibut. A normal halibut is
Mm.
120. Smoked is 200. So that's 80 more. And the chub is 50 more. Okay.
Mm.
So it depends still.
Got it. So we get twice as much for the chub at least.
Yeah.
Guess it could be worse.
Going to snow tomorrow.
So I need oak resin.
Spirits are neutral. Should we do or
Only
should we
hard
not
wood.
do the things? Nah, we should wait.
Definitely leave them.
Periwinkles! Just one.
Yay! We got one.
one.
We need a total of 5.
Yeah, and we definitely I need people to come with to the mine probably to get more grub meat. Kind of want to mine on that.
I do have
the
some
choke.
deluxe bait that I caught, so
That's already gone, I think. Or do you have it still?
I have some. I
You could
just
put it
literally
in
got
there.
it from today.
You could put it in there if you want.
I did.
Cool. We got artichokes.
So you can't craft food from the crafting bench, can you?
No. For that, you need the cooking kit.
Right.
Or we should upgrade your house so we have a kitchen.
So I just know we put the crafting machine with the food items. We can't craft anything.
Yeah, no, that should be different. Yeah, it should be next to. I think we should
There.
put wood and the mining chest next to each other so that it can be in between those.
It's okay, I got it.
Put them right in the middle, and we can craft all the things.
Hold on.
You get there, Rain?
Yeah, it's being a butt. Oh no! I was doing it!
I'm helping. There, you can finish. No, just kidding.
No, you did it.
Yeah, there it is. Cool.
There we go. I have to put the recycling machines down here. There we go.
I'll put the periwinkles in here because they're for the raccoon.
Okay.
I don't think I have any in here. I do. I
Here.
already have 2. So we have 3. We just need 2 more.
Yes, thank you. Who's that go to now? That goes to Willie.
Willie.
Okay.
Yay!
Willie needs a squid.
Oh, look at us. We're octopuses.
Yes!
Why am I getting stuck on trees?
Wait, I'm gonna switch it out so I don't accidentally eat it.
Mm.
Because I
Oh.
do
Oh yeah, you can just eat it raw. That's kind of
that.
concerning.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. You can do that.
I know.
Yes, you can. Oh, you know. Sorry. I thought you said, oh
Rusty
no,
spoon.
instead of I know. I'm just gonna grab Rose's
Gunther
thing
already
real quick
cast
as
their
well.
rusty spoon.
Retrieve from lemon. And it's the steel pickaxe. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't have any she does have mystery boxes, so I'll pick those up too, or
I'm
should I leave them for her? She had a ruby. Damn it.
Just
I
leave
would
them. They're
definitely
in
take
her
the
inventory.
seeds from her.
The seeds.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, but her stuff that's in her inventory can stay.
The mystery box, yeah.
Yeah, because they're
Yeah,
in
those
her
can stay.
bag. Those are hers.
Mm-hmm.
Dad.
That just means they're in her backpack.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Where the facts, Willie? Willie!
He's
In
in his
his-
home.
He's in his shop. On the border.
There. Elliot.
Hey, you smooching on my Elliot?
No. Oh,
just
we
gave
could
him
also
some
buy
wine.
bait instead of going into the mine.
It's probably expensive
I
though, is
didn't
it?
even think about that.
five coins per bait. But yeah, it's more expensive than getting it, so I'll get it. I'll go get it. I need to get the ectoplasm anyway, so.
Kill the ghosties.
Wait, Mona, where did you go? Where are you going? Where are you planning to go?
North. I was thinking about actually going to the west, but I'm trying to forage and find seeds too.
Well, I have 2 of the watermelon seeds with me. Will you take them?
Mm-hmm. Where you at?
Below you. Wait a second. Yeah.
Watermelons?
Yeah. There you go.
Yay!
Because Rose had them in their inventory. So.
Sweet. So we can plant powder melons.
Yeah, because you're looking for them
How
anyway.
is Stardew?
So.
It's going good, Michigan. Thank you for asking.
The only thing we can grow.
Are you awake yet, Sebastian? It doesn't matter. I can come in your room.
I'm sleepy though.
It's fun to live so close to the train tracks.
Finding
Oh,
all the
so
dig things, but the powder.
He has a graphic novel. Pretty boy.
Every dig spot, but powder melons.
Yeah, he just reads manga like the rest of us.
All the books.
Like a good boy.
Like a normal emo kid.
How's your evening going, Michigan? I hope you're relaxed.
Don't die.
Not allowed to die.
Because I just ate.
There's some powder melons.
I got an
Yay!
artifact trove from
Ooh.
the water.
I just found 3 powder melon seeds.
Nice. That's the first time I'm seeing that.
Ah, you don't get those very often.
Woo!
Oh, mini critters. So did you put a fireplace in with the cows too? Or just the chickens?
Oh shit! No, just the chickens.
I think there's just chickens.
She only loves chickens.
No, I don't. But I forgot that we also have. I didn't know about the flying skulls.
Oh yeah.
Is the
Uh.
that's not the ghosts, are they?
No, those are not ghosts. You want to leave.
I want to run. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat some cheese. Wait, maybe not yet, because that's a waste.
Yeah. There.
wait, that's my normal one. Should have left the other one.
You know what? I forgot to do a thing.
This one's
Where do I
definitely a
find
squid.
ectoplasm though? Do I have to go to a certain level? Because I just went to it.
It's just wherever ghosts will spawn.
Which is
I can't look that up right now.
okay.
I'm trying to catch a squid.
Ghost. Carbon or putrid? Probably just carbon.
There.
31 to 39. Mummy levels in... No, that's in Danger's mines. This is just normal mines. Oh, so I have to go there. I'm in the wrong fucking mine.
Hey, Dobby! Thank
No,
you for
you
the
should
like.
be fine.
I'm in a... Well, it says Dangerous Skull Cavern or the Dangerous Mines.
Dangerous mines.
Or maybe
What
that's
about the other one?
putrid?
You're just looking at the regular ghost. You don't need the putrid or the carbon.
Right. 51
51
to
to
79.
79.
I don't know which one I'm on. Can I see that somewhere?
You're at 62, so you're within
Okay, cool.
range.
Hello
Once we
there!
get all these powdered melons planted, they should keep producing, right? Hopefully.
Which one?
Powdered melons? Won't they keep producing?
I don't think so. I think they're like watermelons.
No.
It just spawns solar essence. Diamond. A purple one. Or that's always
She's
purple.
down. Down.
What?
It had a purple background somehow.
Oh.
Go see. In the game.
Oh, who has the
Just clarifying.
who has the thing to get the hardwood?
Me. Sorry. You mean the steel axe?
Yeah.
Sassy.
No, it's fine. No, I just need like 10 pieces of hardwood. I couldn't remember who it was.
Oh, I just got you
Making?
a couple. Or one.
Yeah, because I was in the forest, the hidden forest or whatever, thinking I had one of those things, and I don't. So we need 50 slimes, a gold bar, and 10 hardwood, or 10 more hardwood in order to make an oil maker.
Ooh, secret note. Hello, Ghosty. So funny how I instinctively went to the right level for this. I was like, it's around there, it's somewhere.
Right in the like cold
What is
area.
that? A crocus?
I wouldn't even know this was the cold area, to be fair.
Crocuses have been a thing for a while, haven't they? I just forgot about them.
Yes. It's always been a forageable.
They're just rare, right?
No.
Which is?
The purple crocus that you find in the wild in the winter.
Oh, I got one too.
Not that.
But they are rare, more rare than the holly. I got a secret note. Pumpkin pie. Stardrop Saloon special orders. Demetrius Bean Hot Pot, Mary Lewis, Autumn's Bounty, double order of high fiber bread on this side. Okay. Oh, it's getting late.
No, it's late.
I'm gonna put the squid into her box there. There we go.
That way she has one.
Yep.
Wait.
That was my last squid that I need to catch.
Squidward.
I found a ring. A magnet ring.
I'm finding all the books.
See that?
Secret tunnel.
Nugget? I swear to God, you're in the way.
Should we sell the artichokes? Or we keep some as well?
We
We
keep
might wanna
some of
keep them
everything.
for now.
Okay, I'll keep 3 normal ones. I'll just sell the silver ones. Boop. Oh shit, you wanted me to sell shit. Running! Sleeping!
No!
Good time.
No, I don't want to offer you my tea! Yes!
At least I made it in the house. Oh god.
Mona's on the floor in our house because we took her bed.
Yeah, I'll take the bed. I'll take the floor.
No room.
No big deal.
Spoon! Rusty spoon!
Mm-hmm. You only need so many of those in your life.
I mean, sure, if you want sepsis.
Mhm.
Let me see if we're lucky today.
It's fine.
Very happy today! Yes, I'm gonna do all the
Yay.
things.
And we still need
Amethyst-
ectoplasm.
Amethyst for Emily.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the geode stuff and
Then you're gonna go to
Where
the
are
mine
all
and
the
get us
lucky-
all amethysts.
amethysts.
Mm-hmm. For Emily.
Oh. Okay, first.
Interesting. It's got a 9.5% drop rate, by the way.
There's one more hardwood. Oh wait, I'll leave the. axe in
Emily!
there, so
Yes.
axe in the-
You heard nothing. You heard nothing, Michigan. You heard nothing.
I put the steel axe in the.
It's
In the
not your
chest.
Emily.
Sweet.
Oh no.
Okay. Where? All the dig spots.
And there's another oak resin I found on the way.
Melons are getting big.
Oh, I got mail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's 5 more deluxe bait in my. Okay, I'll do that first. I think I have a better ring than a magnet ring. Oh, I already have the magnet ring. Anybody need a magnet ring? You
I
got
don't
one,
know.
right?
I think we got rings. I think we crafted ourselves rings already, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, claw ring with magnet included.
Wait, we can't fry the lobster or the crayfish. Oh.
Day 3! Hey, Trouble, how are you? I'm doing good. How are you? I'm just causing trouble as usual. Playing some
Oh, can
Stardew.
someone do the crop watering then, so I can go out
Oh,
to
yeah.
You don't have to water any crops. Well, wait, the greenhouse
Yeah,
maybe.
the greenhouse.
And the
Yeah,
greenhouse.
I've been doing that for the last couple of days, but yeah,
Oh.
I will need to. I can do more in the mine.
You know, I can fix that. We can get some sprinklers in the greenhouse too.
Yeah. But now it's
And we
full
just-
though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like fully full.
I wonder how many it holds. Don't water crops. You heard it here first. Yeah, don't water them at all. Good things. Yeah, we don't need to water them. Nee. No, you build sprinklers and then you don't have to water them. That's why.
Where's the trash things?
Oh,
You
they're
didn't
up
have.
on the crystallariums. I moved them.
Oh, right there.
Okay.
Come on, cat. I have to pet you because then I can get a dog.
There's lots of crops in here. But that's good, because that means I can put some sprinklers down too.
Oh, wow. Self hug.
Because they're getting harvested.
It's fine. Harvest
So what are you
the
up to,
thing.
J3? You causing trouble? Staying busy?
Chipped amphora? Really? That's what I'm getting? Ocean stone. What the hell is the chipped amphora? Country can tell you more about it.
At least
That's
it's
what I
something.
got from the. That's what I got from the like the super special chest thingy.
Hey, something we needed.
I guess.
All this wait until these
Old freaking pot.
crops just like murder themselves or whatever.
Color coding stuff. There. Oh.
I'm causing chaos.
Can I just click OK and be done? No. That's so bugged. Escape.
It's funny.
There's actually every time there's a little like the gold slivers in the water. Iron ore. It's actually very helpful. It's better than going in a mine. This the gold pan.
I tried to milk the sheep because I wasn't being very bright.
Wait, where's Sebastian? Where are you? Fuck. No clue where he is on a Saturday.
Oops.
In winter.
Try to milk the floor.
Let's
I
see.
can. Oh, thanks. Maybe he's at the train station though.
16, 11. Thursday. Saturday at almost 4. He is in Sam's room.
That's in the city, isn't it?
Yep.
Damn it. But I wanted to go mining. I'll go mining and do him tomorrow. Not like that.
What'd you say, Momo?
Give me a ghosty. 162, by the way.
Okay. I'll come join ya. He didn't even pick up the quartz.
Nope. I told you. I'm trying to find a ghosty. Found it. Oh, there's a ghosty down here.
Ooh.
Look at all this stuff.
found the thing.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Not the
Why am
I so
plasma, but we got the
sleepy?
exit.
Oh.
I'm sleepy today.
Alright, well, fuck this slime.
Yeah, there's a ruby though.
Oh,
Which
it's
is-
infested down here.
Cool.
Just what you need right now.
Yeah, but it's all slimes.
I need some of those slime bodies, so. I need 50
Yeah,
slime
yeah.
bodies.
Got all the frozen tears for my lover.
Mm.
I'm over here struggling.
Yeah, no, I struggled too over here, but it's there were a lot. We have to defeat them all anyway, so
Yeah.
I got like 6 or 5 down here.
Holiday spots.
I don't do very much damage with my little sword.
Did we have winter root yet? Oh, got it. Well, obviously, because it was the last one.
I have winter root on me.
Yeah, no, same. I don't know if we had it yet for.
I thought we had it remixed, but I don't know.
All right. No, it wasn't a remix in the other one.
It might be.
No,
I
I
don't
got it.
remember.
Because this is vanilla.
Yeah, but the
Yeah, this is
remix
vanilla.
isn't.
Oh,
I mean,
got
that's
it.
part of vanilla
Yeah, it
stuff
can
too.
be vanilla. Yeah, you
Oh,
can
really?
remix some vanilla.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Oh, ghost.
Ghost. Hit him. My 1 damage to him.
Should I do it?
Yeah, probably.
I just come in, make him come longer, like so we can move him to the side. Then-
No,
We can hit
things
him
to
more times.
find.
There you go.
Nothing.
Smorts.
Fucking bastard.
Is amethyst something that you pick up or that you mine?
You can mine it. Sometimes you can get it, like out of other things.
So yeah, there's like, I don't even know
Here.
how this happened, but
Sorry, I had to kill the slime. I was already halfway through.
Hello, ghosty.
Ghost.
Oh,
This
you
way,
go
sir.
down. Down. We can ping pong him.
That would be great if only he would stay in one spot.
Well, it depends on how you hit him.
You bastard.
Me?
No, the ghost. Not sharing. We need his ectoplasm.
Yeah.
okay.
Just running away from the slime so they don't. Oh, got it. This area is infested.
Oh my god, another infested area?
Yeah, and there's a door though. Oh, got him in. Let me just do it because I can do like 33 damage and 40.
Yeah. Do way more damage than I do.
I just got 14. Hey. How come you didn't get this sword? I thought we got this from like a level. Did you lose it?
No,
Oh,
I
jeez.
haven't gone that far yet.
Oh, it's 12 a.m. Maybe just go back.
Eating late.
Probably a good idea.
There's no ghoster anyway, so. Yeah, I'm gonna go back tomorrow anyway, so. Bleep, bloop, bloopy doopy doop, bloopy doopy doop doop doop. Hi, Mono.
No.
Motherfucker.
Fast as fuck, boy. Secret no. 12 o'clock noon sharp. Last day of the season. Check the bush above.
Yep.
Oh, that's that one.
Someone is waiting for you on level 100 in the Skull Cavern.
Ooh. Wait,
Oh, jeez.
someone needed a
Bedtime.
ruby.
100?
Mm-hmm.
You got that on a note?
Yep. Bedtime.
Okay. Yeah, I'm already in there.
I was mostly doing it for Mono.
Oh, I can craft a warrior ring.
Nice. Oh, puddle butt. Oh, big stretch.
I'm gonna go buy a pig.
Okay.
I'm
We don't
alive.
own a pig yet.
You didn't even hear that, did you?
What?
I don't think so. I have no idea what
Basically,
happened.
I just almost threw water and things all
Plum
over my
pudding.
face.
Good job.
I don't know.
But the noise canceling takes it out nowadays.
Oh, yeah. Hello,
Queen of
Bobby.
Straw.
Oh, what the fuck?
Keep seeds to me. Be twice productive next year, and I have some exciting news to be selling new seeds varieties in the shop next year. I should have one new variety per season.
He does that every
Ooh.
year. Or, well, every first year.
Does he?
What?
No.
Yeah.
That's terrible. I don't remember that.
God damn it. Eat normally.
Yeah, that's when he gives you the red cabbage seed in the summer.
Oh. Hello, Pierre.
Tomorrow's the ice festival. Rain's favorite season of fishing.
What?
Ice festival.
Oh, yeah. Is that coming up?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Oh, shit. What?
Yep.
Dang! Okay, heck yeah.
Ice fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Oh. And then okay. Oh. I didn't realize I did that.
No! We still need one more periwinkle.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't have
Never.
any bug meat still.
Let's see. Thank you for the follow. Thank you, thank you. Ed Starbright, welcome.
You have more bait. Taking some bait.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
You want
Cool.
the raccoon too, so it's a common cause. Right?
There might be a periwinkle in my house.
Oh no, it's a starred one. Fuck.
That's okay.
No, it's not.
Hi,
Oh,
welcome.
yeah, 'cause
Thank
it
you
has
for
to
the
be a stack,
follow.
huh?
Welcome to Stardew.
5 of the same kind.
Okay.
Oh, what did I say I was gonna go do? I didn't
It's
forget.
because we're using deluxe bait,
Oh,
probably.
buy a pig.
I don't think so. I don't think it really matters.
No?
Buy a pig.
Alright, I'm getting sick of this.
Are you back in the mines?
Yeah, I'm gonna go wait outside the Adventurers Guild so I can at least buy a better sword.
Wait, let me check if I have one. I don't think so. Wait, you can take roses for
Hmm?
now. Take roses for now.
That's okay.
So you don't have to buy one.
No, it's okay.
I have a steel small sword.
Yeah, that's what I'm using right now. It's really shitty. You don't want to use it.
Yeah.
He has the bacon now.
But you could use roses.
Nah.
His name is Bacon. Hi, gals. And sheeps. Did I buy
Back to
shears?
getting ectoplasms.
I don't know if I did or not. Probably not.
It's the last day for it, so if we don't find it, we don't find it.
I have not bought shears for the
Oh
sheep yet.
fuck! It's
Shame
last
on
day.
me.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a weekly thing. It's okay.
Right.
I think it was like a really shitty situation because I want to say like we got 2 options for like crappy billboard stuff. So
Wait, I thought you were in the mine.
I'm outside the Adventurers Guild right now.
Ah, that's why. I was wondering why there were no stairs yet.
Mhm.
Okay. Should have bought shears for the sheep while I was in there, and I forgot.
Mhm.
So if anybody goes and sees money for any reason.
Not
buy
today, because I'm
shears.
trying to get the ectoplasms.
Yeah, that's fine. Probably be added eventually. Maker? Where we get trinkets.
Oh jeez, that's a lot of sprites.
Oh, but I still only carried a milk with me. Cool. And
Train. I'm gonna grab the train. Toot twain. Toot toot.
Oh, please don't let this be one of the mines where like the very fucking last rock is the stairs. Oh, thank you. I hate those. Another secret node. Wait, Mona, you know I left the axe in the chest, right? I told you, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
I used it already.
Cool.
I just forgot to put it back.
No.
Let's see.
Oh, thank you.
See, 1, 2,
Ghost.
1, 2, right there.
I'm coming.
Come
I
here,
messed these up.
Ghosty.
1, 2.
Now I do more damage.
Which one do you have now?
I bought the Templar blade.
Ooh. Do we just have to get
Right
it, or
here.
do we have to give it?
We have to get it. It's a drop. Well,
No,
we have to
no.
get it and we have to give it.
Yeah,
So. But it's such a small drop rate too.
Should have like a lucky ring or something.
The rabbit spot.
Oh.
42.
Please, Ghosty. Nope, just slimes.
And that's what you want. So 2 works if there's an additional sprinkler. So you put it right there, right there, and right.
Just trying to ignore the slimes and just... I got
I
it.
know.
Right here. Ghost, please.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, we're stuck.
Mm?
No ghosts. Oh, well.
That was easy.
Yep. Oh, no. Don't go to left. There's skulls there.
Don't go left.
We're on level 69. Nice.
No one caught the Pokemon.
Oh shit. We don't want to go
Yep.
down too far either.
Can we actually defeat them? Or are they just a menace?
They're defeatable, but they're really hard to fight.
Well, let's just hope we get him. Stairs here. Oh no, there's one up top now. Yep, he found me. I need to eat. Now.
Eating is important.
Please don't hit me.
Jeez.
Oh, we got him.
Nice.
He was right, shoot.
Yeah.
I need to eat some. Oh no, one's coming after me.
Coming.
I'll just leave those in there.
Oh, they're not that hard. Let's just get them.
No.
I guess we have good swords now.
Yeah. AKA me, because I wasn't doing shit with what I was. But I did have.
Nope.
Okay, it's not that bad.
I like that the butterflies or moths fly around at night and they glow.
Got some more hardwood.
Do we want to make... Yeah, we'll do that.
Why don't they drop the stairs like instantly? That would have been nice of them, you know.
That would have.
It's 11 p.m. Well, we wouldn't have been able to give it to him anyways.
Pew, pew, da, 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 da.
Might as well get a little rock while we're at it.
What the fuck?
And... Oh,
Wait,
I think I saw it.
Yep, got it. Up top.
Motherfucker.
Might as well go to level 100 now. See who's waiting for us.
No,
No
Skull
one.
Caverns.
Oh, never mind. Azu, it's getting late. Oh, Mona's already on the farm.
I don't think I left the farm today.
That's okay. I did.
We didn't do justice though.
That's okay.
Well, I refilled the barrels.
No, we were trying to get the ectoplasm real quick, but we failed.
No, it's okay. I refilled the barrels.
What are you using the oak resin for?
Eggs.
For what?
Eggs.
Eggs?
Eggs. The to make beer and wine.
Oh, kegs. Ye. There's one more in there now.
Hmm.
Bedtime
Oh
now.
shit! I just looked up. I'm like, oh no, it's bedtime.
I'm gonna go sleep in an abandoned house.
Ooh, miner or geologist?
Mm.
It's up to you.
Oh, we're looking for amethyst. I think Rose took miner.
Why is there a little
Amethyst.
alien flying across the screen in the background? Why have I not noticed that before?
Oh shit.
Did you do the
That's
spaceship?
what we knew.
I'm a geologist. What?
What if? I wonder if that gives us our weird little alien thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Nothing happened.
Mm-mm.
Wait. Find any tree seeds while chopping wood. Oh well, that was just a.
No.
Spirits are no tree.
Getting all the melons.
Mm-hmm.
Ella melons. Yes, we got 2 periwinkles. Let's go.
Yay! Let's hope they're just one type.
I hope so. Let's see. See, it is because of the specialty bait. We got starred ones.
Are they? Oh, they're silver.
Yeah, the silver star. So now we have 3, but we don't have 5 from
Mhm,
1.
mhm.
I'll see if I. Well, the fishing thing's gonna start soon.
Oh, did we forget the event?
It's gonna start today. Jack be nimble, Jack be thick. What the fuck?
You got your book?
I don't know what to do then, because we don't have any bait left.
It's okay. Time to
Should
go
I
to
still
the
water
event.
the crops, or should we go
No,
now?
we don't need to. We're okay.
No, we do.
No, the
No, we don't.
crops are fine.
Oh, you put the... Nice.
I've been busy.
Gee.
Don't have to water anymore,
know.
Mama.
Yay,
I went to go water them and was like, oh, she planted.
Good job,
Yeah.
Nino.
She put
We
our
just got
sprinklers
the
down.
harvest.
Alright, let's go to Marnie's so we can get fish.
What about the babies?
Yeah, we do need to do the cows. I'll do the cows then.
Okay. What time do we have? Does it start now?
Yeah, now.
Yeah, it's already started.
We have to hurry. I'll quickly just pet them. And then at night we'll just do the rest, I suppose.
No, they won't let you milk them when you come back.
Yeah, it does.
No.
Right?
Well, if it's before
at least
7.
not the milking. Not the milking, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll try and milk them. Shit, wrong button. Trying to fish the cow.
There we go.
There we
Oh
go.
cheapest. I don't. You didn't get the shares yet, right?
No. Wait. And okay, we petted everybody, I think.
Okay, got the milk.
Close enough. Okay.
Do not milk the fucking cabinet of cheese. Do we need the
Ice
goat
fishing
milk?
is south,
There we go.
right?
Yes.
Okay, running. I didn't feed them. Fuck. Well,
Fine.
we'll have time for that tonight.
You shouldn't have to, or do you?
You
It
do,
should
I
be
think.
auto feeder.
Oh, there's not a feeder? Cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, you don't have to feed them.
Woo! Made it.
Everything auto feeds in waters now.
Cool.
Cool. My least favorite sport. Okay, there's a rare crow, a tree, wallpaper, frozen dreams, ice rug, winter dining table, icy banner,
Fashion.
wall
I
scone,
never get cold. Nice.
Okay, Sam kind of looks cute in his little winter beanie though.
pumpkin soup.
Oh, the
So
rare
the-
crow's cute.
Yeah,
We only need one.
yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
Got
can buy
one
one.
on?
I didn't. No, I didn't.
Okay, I'll get it.
Okay. Aw, Vincent.
Yeah, Vincent is adorable there.
Do you see Jess and hers?
Not yet. Where is she?
Jess up here.
Well, I'll visit her in a second.
Oh, Haley
Oh,
looks
no.
cute too.
Oh
Haley has
shit!
earmuffs.
I'm not ready.
Yes. Pam in her poofy jacket.
Oh yeah, that's cute. Oh, what kind of snowman should we make? Something funky.
That's what I said too.
Sam looks like
Fun.
JoJo Mart itself, all in blue.
What do you think of my snow goon? Well,
I mean, not Sam, Shane. Shane itself is a true JoJo Mart employee, wearing all blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. If it was up to me, I'd probably have a pizza festival in the saloon instead.
Let me know when you guys are ready.
I'm definitely ready.
I'll never be ready.
Oh, I think I had everyone. But we can wait. I thought we had to do that at Willie. I said no, because I thought he
No.
was the event. I thought he
No.
was the
No.
event.
This is the
starter.
mayor.
Mayor's the event.
There was no one on the right, right?
No.
One here. Okay, then I got everyone. Yeah, I'm ready. Ready, Freddy.
Yes. Let's go. We know Rain's gonna win.
Better.
She's our fishing pro. Two minutes
many
with provided fishing rods. Thank goodness, because I don't have any fishing rods.
Oh my god. I brought mine.
Begin.
I didn't bring mine. Oh,
Oh,
why is
just
it doing that
slow-
direction?
Short throw. Short throw.
Yeah, just a single click will be okay.
I need better
Oh,
fishing
God.
skills. Send help. I need better fishing skills.
I got 2 so far.
I'm gonna fail. And I ain't got a single one. Rain looks like she's drowning a cat over there.
It does. My little cat bobber.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
I definitely need to work on my fishing skills.
How many do you have, Rain?
4.
I was doing so good. I was almost there.
Go, Mono, go, Mono, go.
I caught one.
Yay.
You guys caught it at the same time. That's funny.
Oh, shit. Marnie walked by and it had the balloon, so I clicked. Yep, that cost me.
I know, I hear your audio. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, that sucks, yeah. Yeah, I got 5. That's it.
Oh, I was in the middle
Scared
of trying
me.
to catch one.
Yeah, that's mean.
I caught one fish.
GG Mono!
Rain probably won with a cat handicap. She's got a cat on her lap. And she's
I do. She's actually on my
Right, fish
chest.
don't smell, man.
She is laying on my chest.
What the fuck?
Fuck yeah.
You won?
Yep.
why does it tell you before us?
Oh, I clicked through it.
She just rushed it.
Ours won't let me.
It won't?
I have to wait for it to pop up before I can click again.
Oh, I just keep clicking until it shows up.
Same. What did you get for winning?
A lot of tackle. I got 3 different tackles and a sailor cap.
The things that I wouldn't want anyway.
Right, cows, food. Oh no, they have auto feeders. Never mind.
You're fine, yeah.
Where does normal cheese go? You're selling the normal cheese, right? Okay, I'll put it in the white chest so you can sell
Make
some
sure
more.
I fill in all the squares when I was in here earlier.
Oh, I took the milk pill. Fuck.
Momo just wants all the things.
Can I give it to you?
Yeah.
You
What?
wouldn't
I'm
think.
milking you. What the fuck?
Not a cow, Momo. Don't milk me.
I can't give it to you. That's
No,
weird.
just put it in this chest and I'll grab it.
Jugs.
Yeah, okay.
You wouldn't think it, but a 5-pound cat on your chest is actually quite heavy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Quite difficult to breathe.
Sleepy time.
I don't know how she's comfortable, but she is.
Sometimes. I don't know why it gives me that message and still lets me do it.
Why? All the self-hate today.
It doesn't actually let you get the ones that are already planted.
The ones that are already growing, yeah.
Mono sleep. Mono sleep. Mono sleep.
Good.
It's only 12:40.
Oh, it's 12:40. Never mind.
I was like, I'm good.
I'm so sorry. My head went like, it's time.
Okay, but I was able to fertilize all the ones I put in the ground today. Just not the ones that have sprouted already. Okay, that makes sense.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
need a
I've
short
just been trying to make it all. Okay.
I need a bio break in the night.
Yeah, I'll just go to sleep here.
Do we sell anything?
Don't milk
overnight?
me. Shane added
did,
a
cool.
quote. Quote. Shane tried to add a
hold
quote.
Hold on.
Don't milk me.
I got it.
Do you guys need a break too, or are you good?
Yeah, a break would be great.
Mhm.
A stretch
Then I'll
break.
leave it on this screen. Yeah. Be right back.
Rain would. Oh, yes. I'll be right back. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rain. Oh my god. Poor me. I'll take my phone on Doom and see what messages I have.
I'm back. Kidding. Gotcha. I think. You're special. Oh, Shane. I know your name. Yeah, you eat your cookies. Hey, Lady Rain, I made you wet. You can try and run, but you can't hide. Sorry. So how's you, Shane? How you doing, man? Oh, that sucks. Do you have one of those like sinus cleansers? Those could help maybe.
What?
I splashed you. I made you wet, Rain.
Oh, that's rude. So cold here today, though.
I scared Shane a bit.
Oh.
Rain screaming, trying to make me drop things.
Mm-hmm.
I hear that. I think that Momo was trying to make some kind of noises, but I was in the kitchen, so it's like breaking up, and I couldn't tell what she was doing. She's like, "I know you're there," or something. And I'm like, "What? What is she doing?"
I was doing all the creepy.
Mm-hmm.
I bet I have been dealing with sinus issues all week. Poor city. Allergies and sinuses are the worst.
Yeah.
I brought back more blueberries and another margarita.
Nice.
Why did you scare me, Momo? Huh?
I've been downing a bunch of meds, and in what way did you scare? Oh, well, you did the one, so
Oh.
I thought you were kind of like the emote.
Oh.
I thought you were.
I'm jelly of your margarita. Thank you.
Same.
Enjoy extra for me? Okay. Will do.
Okay.
I have blueberries to put in it as well. For the heck of it. Need some kind of decoration.
I pinched like the inside of my hand.
Okay.
When I was putting in my wipers earlier.
Well, that's not good.
I was changing my wipers.
Right here. Cheers.
I forgot how to change my wipers. That's what happened.
That's not good.
My hand. It hurts.
But yeah, guys, if you're tuning in and lurking and listening, last stream was crazy and wild. I had a goal of 500 for St. Jude, and we exceeded well past that. Last year, it took me like the whole month to get 500, which I was so grateful and thankful for. And then we surpassed that like in one stream. Like it was crazy. We're at like 710. And everybody was in agreement that I needed to up it a little more since I gotta keep going till May 31st. That's the deadline. And that's when everybody's contributing to St. Jude's, and that's when it ends. So we're gonna keep going. Incentives are posted. I haven't updated them since the wild crazy stuff, but the basic incentives are still the same. They haven't changed. It's the milestones that I haven't had a chance to work on because we passed all of them. We passed all the milestones. Nice. And I'm like, great, so I gotta make new ones.
Stream.
Kimono and a kimono. Kimono and a kimono. We can totally make that one. That's one of your creepier emotes. It is a very creepy emote. Hey. You like doing that to us.
I just imagined it as a
It is.
That's why I thought you were scared, because those are like the anime emotes where they are nearly going insane because they're so scared or so fucked.
I hope you're doing good though, J3. Alright, are we about ready to start again? I am, thanks. Good. I'm glad to hear it. A wild Pokemon appeared. Poketch. Let's see, do I have that one? You're gonna tell me. Fine, then I use a regular Pokeball. When it doesn't tell me, I just use a regular one. When it tells me that I don't have it, then I use an Ultra and hope I catch it. That is wild, though. I'm pretty sure I don't have that one. That's a wild looking Pokemon. Oh, it worked for you. How is mine any different? It just won't tell me. It's like, no, we're not telling her whether she has this or not. We're only telling her, not her. Why does it do this? I have no clue. No clue at all. Alright, game. Let's go. Thank you, Momo. Thank you so much for the 100 biddies. Thank you.
Bitty bitty.
Got the little hip lop love notification. Oh, hip lop love. And so I didn't catch up. Damn.
Neutral spirits.
I was like, my house looks so plain. I need to do something. I realized I didn't wake up in my house. It could be that was not my house, you know.
What should we do today?
You work on things and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we could up all the farming things since we're not using them really, but
up all the farming things?
Like, for example, we could get like a better. Wait, we do have the watering figured out now, but oh, then we don't really need it, right? Never mind. Never mind then. Maybe better pickaxes and stuff, but that doesn't have to be in winter. So.
Can I put things in there, please?
What?
Can I put things in there, please?
I couldn't see you because you were in the.
Nope, not allowed.
You were in the screen thing.
Yeah. Okay.
I wanted to put stuff in the cauldrons, whatever they're called.
I don't think
the furnace.
First
yeah, so I was like, brain fog.
Did I not even pick it? What? I put it in the chest instead of taking it out. Oh my gosh. Good job.
Sebastian, I'm coming for you today. If you want it or not, I am coming for you.
Oh. There he goes.
How good am I with your kitty?
Cows, when you all bunch up together, I don't even know who's who.
Can I then get my own puppy? I'm nearly on 5 hearts.
I don't even know who's who when they all bunch up like that.
Oh yeah, that's hard with the animals. Are you at the chickens? Oh no, you're not.
No, I haven't done the chickens yet.
I can go to chickens.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna try
I have to go back in the mine though to get some bug meat.
Yeah.
What did you do?
What I'm doing.
Oh, bunny. So they're not cold, I think. So I'm guessing the thing is working.
Maybe.
Would it say something if they were cold? We have a dinosaur egg.
So.
I don't think so. I don't think it really makes a difference, to be honest. At least not anymore, because the cows are fine, and we never put a heater in here.
Right. What do you do with the dinosaur eggs? You just keep them?
I like to buy them, but I just...
for now.
Okay. Yeah. Hello, duck.
There's a secondary void chicken in the hatchy thingy, so...
Why do I have wool in my hand?
Because the rabbit produces wool, and you can put it in the wool machine. Did I make one yet? There should be a little spindle thing in there.
The loom?
Alright.
No.
See it?
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
It's doing the things.
Corner.
Yeah, you can put that in the loom.
What did the dinos drop?
Eggs.
Just eggs.
And what do you do with eggs? Just make more dinos?
More mayonnaise. Yeah, more dinos. More mayonnaise.
But we just
what do we do with void egg? Do we make mayonnaise too?
Yep, you make mayonnaise too.
We gotta hold on to the mayonnaise though.
Okay.
The void mayo? Yeah, we'll each need a void mayo. Eventually. Let's be in here already! She still won't let me in there
I'll
to go
just
get the
drop all the
shorts.
mayo in the chest, Mono, so you can. I don't know what you're always selling. So.
Oh, the regular mayo we just sell, so you can put it in the farm chest besides the sale bin.
The duck mayo as well?
Mm-hmm.
You're just keeping the gold?
No. Well, we probably already have a gold. Yeah, we should keep 1 gold at least of each.
I'm just putting what I have now in the white chest so you can sell them. There's still cheese in there as well from a couple of days ago.
Yeah, I try to leave a little bit of everything in that chest just in case some event comes up that we need it for. Instead of putting it in our regular chest full. I just try. Oh, I found my first secret note. 12 o'clock noon sharp, last day of the season. Check the bush above the playground. We know. The bush above the playground has a Junimo. At noon sharp. See, that's what the secret notes tell you. They tell you things. Things and stuff.
Lol, the red chest moved again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We moved it by the thing.
Yeah, it's now, you can barely see it. Oh, I picked it up. I can put it inside, or I can put it near the bench. Maybe that works.
What keeps moving?
Yeah, you might want to have to put it by the trash can. I know it's out of the way.
Good.
You're talking about in town?
I'm gonna test this one out first. Curious. But they were neutral, so I shouldn't do this today. Damn it. I'm too eager. Why doesn't it organize my shit too?
I don't know.
Is the blue thing, the crocus here, rare too? Oh. I see you, frozen wormsies. Oh, that's just roots. Or a crystal fruit. That's
Ugh. How and why? Why are they on this one? I think I might die.
Don't die.
Well, trying not to, but these stupid skull things.
What does it take to make a preserve thing? Because I'm tired of looking at the uneven amount. That's it?
Ooh, 3 hearts with Sebastian.
Nice.
How many do I need for? This is the first I've got with him ever. Because now I know why he wants the crystal tears and I'm just giving him those.
I don't remember what the thing is for him.
Where do we go for bugs?
Lower
there
levels.
We go. Yeah. Found
I'm
it.
on level 6 right now.
That's one bug meat. Wow. This sword is great.
What sword do you have?
Obsidian. But yeah, it just takes like one swipe to kill the Megadis now. And one swipe to kill the freaking flying bugs, which are freaking annoying. So I'm happy with it.
Okay, so that's good to know. Good to know.
At least we're getting bug meat now.
We need it.
Yes, we have to feed the raccoon.
I want to make a worm bin.
No, don't eat the holly. Nice. It's poisonous.
Would you get the date like from
dumb girl.
Yeah.
Cheat
How
ball.
much is the worm bin? Because I can't. We can
I
make
need,
more, right?
I can. I need 15 hardwood, a gold bar, 1 iron bar, and 50 fiber.
I think we have all those things, or we can easily get them.
Mm.
The hardwood, Mono still have the X, I think.
Mm.
Yeah. I can put it down. Let's see. Six. Wait. Yeah, wrong
Perfect dinner salad. Leah's handwriting. Okay.
thing.
Oh shit! I should have waited. I am so like
And-
accustomed to running from the bugs now that I instantly click the
Right.
stairs when I find them.
Nah.
Cherry bomb. Hello world. It's your favorite girl. So here it comes the sound of drums. Here come the drums, here come the drums. Baby, baby, baby. You are my voodoo child.
And organize that. And that goes where?
Don't say maybe, maybe. Supernatural, I'm coming undone.
So I
Anyone know that
need-
song?
Mm-mm.
Not familiar with it.
I'm an uncultured swine.
I mean, I would have guessed you would have watched Doctor Who, but I guess not.
I have actually not seen Doctor Who.
I've
You
seen
would
quite a
like
bit of
it.
Doctor Who, but I don't remember the song.
It's from an ending scene. That's all I can say.
I was very young, so I don't remember exactly.
Oh, they aired it for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I found it very scary though, as well. Like the angels.
Oh,
Mhm.
Louis the Angels, yeah.
Oh, you know of them, yeah.
I have friends who really enjoy Doctor Who. I just
How many
haven't seen it
stairs are
myself.
they giving me? Look at this. They're like, go
So
down,
many.
bitch. You're too powerful for this level. Like, no, I'm getting my bugs out. What? Another one. All the stairs. I'm getting another one? No.
So Momo is OP.
What level would the amethyst be? We still need that one as well.
We have some.
It
We
varies.
have some.
We have some?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
In our mining chest, we have some amethyst. I just
We
gave her
have
one as we were talking about it.
Oh, I got a monster companion! Yay!
So it must have been a lower level that we got on it.
Blah, 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 blah. You have learned a new power.
Oh yeah.
What's this?
A weird
Secret?
doll.
A weird doll.
Yeah, you get like a ancient doll or a strange doll.
Oh, and this just says what they like. Okay.
Oh, it needs 3.
It's getting late.
Need the rabbit's foot.
Oh, no more time to
Purple
use them.
mushroom. Purple cabbage. And sushi and an egg. We could fry an egg in no time.
No, I
But
want
we
sushi.
don't have a truffle yet. No, we don't have sushi yet. Turtle. I'm not saying that. Momo did.
Sorry.
No, you're
It's
fine.
so instantaneous. Like I forget to not do things.
I got a worm bin going
That
now.
was hilarious.
Nice.
There you go.
Just quickly filling these and then sleeping.
I don't think I. Yeah,
I already
we
filled
You're
them.
filled. Oh. Sleepy time. What the fuck's with your house? it
It's trash.
is. Even the TV is like it. Oh
Mhm.
no, sleep. Oh no, sleep. Don't forget to go.
Let's sleep.
Sleep. Turtle soup.
Turtle soup. Ah.
Oh, who sold the frozen tears?
I didn't.
I sold half of them.
Why? They're for
We
Sebastian.
were hoarding them.
Oh, I didn't know. Oops. Is that the only thing he likes?
Yep. Well,
It's one of his loves.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. So
Mona
frozen tears
sabotaging
cute.
my love life.
And don't sell the diamonds either. We need them,
What do we need them for?
Marnie, so we can get the shorts.
We don't. We can give her amethyst.
I already got the shorts.
Why do y'all give everybody the most expensive item?
Because it works
Because
the
it's a
fastest.
love?
Periwinkle.
There's cheaper loves.
No, diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah. Because they make us money.
Oh, I'm already doing the thing. Rain.
You know what? Fight me.
I mean, I already told you. I just got loads of bug meat, so yeah. Okay, one more periwinkle.
I don't think I've gotten 2 feathers in one day before. That's kind of wild.
Selling the silver ones, right? Also the powder melons, or not?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay. Not sure if they will grow into like a jelly or not.
But they might.
Do you know, Mono? Oh wait, there's one left.
What is
We
it?
Tested. Do you know if the powder jelly we should sell the
Oh, I'm
silvers?
sure. I'm sure they'll grow into. Yeah, you should sell the silvers, and I'm sure you can make make
Oh,
pick
yeah, it
stuff
does.
out of the others.
It goes in the thing. I'm so glad I didn't drop all my frozen tears in the chest, so Mona didn't sell them all.
I didn't know. I never date Sebastian because I was always taken.
Oh, for you too? No. You just sell the winter root. Or
Yeah.
should we eat it? Oh.
That's fine. That's right, we need a purple mushroom.
Oh, I
Red
didn't check.
cabbage.
Wait, check the. Do we have the shroom pit here, or do we have the fruit?
No. We have fruit.
Oh.
Mhm.
Because we thought we'd be able to get the purple one from the stumps, but I don't think we have.
Mhm. I haven't gotten anything yet, but doesn't mean we won't.
Yeah. We were hoping.
Nope. Taking back my frozen tears. Fuck yeah.
Oh, it is Wednesday. Let's see the traveling merchant.
Right?
Oh shit, she's not here.
Oh.
Mm-mm.
Stranger. Do we
She's
need me to
usually
do the
here
chickens?
Wednesdays. Huh?
Oh, no,
I
I
haven't
asked
done them.
Mono. You did them?
I
think
haven't
so.
done them.
I did.
Well,
Oh,
Leo's
Fridays
already
and
done.
Sundays. I'm thinking of Queen of Sauce. Oh my god.
You weren't saving those eggs, were you? They were just too full. The mayo makers.
I keep
Oh, for
some
the
of
ducky?
everything in the chest on purpose,
Oh, okay, then I'll put it back.
just in case we need it for something else. That way there's at least one of each thing in there in case we need it for something.
Mm-hmm. I'll just take the mayo to your to the Sally's chest.
But yeah.
Oh, there's still a lot for you to sell in there, Mono. The white chest.
Oh, okay. I forget to check
in there.
I'm used to being the only farmer and not ever checking, so
yeah. I get it.
See. Oh, I know what I was gonna do. Dang it, I forgot.
The white chest.
I was gonna buy the shears for the sheep.
Oh, one keg is empty. What do you want to put in it?
Put whatever you want.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Works with everything.
It doesn't matter.
You can put berries. I think any berry works.
Fuck yeah. Pepper juice.
Why am I going down here? I don't want to go down here.
Okay.
The fires of Mordor. Sorry, I binged The Hobbit like last weekend. The beacons are lit. What the fuck? Stupid thing. Well, I was walking towards the little thingy in the water, and as soon as I got there, it disappeared.
Oh.
Which is rude.
Are you panning for gold again?
I mean, I was just walking past there already, so I'm like, why not? But then it went whoosh. Wait, is it Wednesday again? Did we already do a full week? No. Do we? Oh, there it is. Don't you dare disappear again. There we go. 4 copper ore. Well, that was worth it, wasn't it? Do you have it? Oh, Sebastian! I got something for you. A new friend! Achievement!
How many hearts you got with him?
4 now, I think.
Dang.
5! Hell yeah. Getting close to being able to romance him.
Really?
I think you have to hit 8 hearts and then you can give him a flower bouquet.
8 heart. We need, if we want to do the kitchen, it's 10,000 gold and 450 pieces of wood.
How many pieces of wood?
450?
450? Okay, I'm at 333.
I don't have any, because I don't have an axe.
Yeah. 333. I put the axe back for you.
Ah, okay.
Put it in the...
I just watched Alex leave.
I got a cutscene. I've never seen this one before. Oh, hello, Momo.
That's his 2 heart.
Gee, thank you so much for the 30 biddies.
What? You haven't seen my motorcycle?
Thank you for the lurk, man. Thank you.
I guess I haven't shown it to you. That's it.
Okay, so we did that.
That was it? Oh. Sometimes after sundown, I make the long ride out of Stardew Valley. There's nothing else like it, blazing along the empty stretch of road toward the faint city glow. Once I've saved up enough money, I'm going to head out on my own to the city and beyond. Just me and my bike. Well, that's gonna
not
subdue my plans now, isn't it? There we go. Oil's changed. Oil's changed. No, he wants to leave.
I know, man. He has to leave the city. He's not gonna stay on the farm and marry you.
Maybe I'll take you for a ride sometime. That sounds fun. Great. Yeah, I'm just gonna be the one that disrupt him from his dreams. No, I'll be his new dream.
Oh, what is that? Is that a bug machine thingamajiggy? Bug bait maker or something?
You're a bait maker.
That sounds so wrong.
Yes. Yes, I got the strange doll. Okay, Gunther, I'm coming for you. Wait, I'm not gonna make
What are we saving up for again?
it. If you want a kitchen.
Oh, yeah. So wood, stone.
And I thought you were doing the...
We are.
Did you get the animals you wanted yet?
Yeah, we got at least one of each now. So one of each is all we need to get the community center stuff on. We're just short on the wood. We got 337, and I think you said 450.
There's still some trees in the quarry.
Mm-hmm.
You got those?
I haven't touched them.
Okay. I did a couple, but not all of them. Should leave the doll here.
But yeah, we have ability to now craft cloth ×2, one in each barn because of the sheep and the bunny. We're just waiting on that bunny's foot whenever he, loses his foot randomly and it grows back, however that works.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know. I mean, does the farmer chop his foot off? I mean, come on. Where does the foot come from?
No, the feet just randomly fall off.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys on about?
The bunny rabbit, getting the lucky rabbit's foot for the community center off your farm rabbit.
The feet just fall off, like.
That's kind of weird. Yeah.
Just like the how lizards drop their tails.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Something like
That's
that.
how nature works. I mean, for lizards, yeah.
I'm convinced that's how it works for rabbits now too.
Apparently, in this game,
it would have made more sense. It was like, I don't know, fluff. But it's really a foot. It's kind of weird. Do the rocks, and I'm gonna use a weird word, but grow back on the quarry?
Yeah. They do.
Kind of weird, but yeah.
They respawn.
Yeah. You got an X with you? Because there's trees here.
I do. Get the regular one. Put the other one in.
Yeah, I didn't pick up the other one. I forgot. So I just decided to make a clear path for you so you could get to the trees.
Works for me.
You're starting to feel exhausted. Yeah,
I
I'm
got
not gonna
cheese.
eat. Yeah, no, I got a cave carrot, thanks.
Okay.
Cheese is too much. It's already 12 p.m. Thank you.
Save it for tomorrow. I don't know.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna save it.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
a
we gotta
waste
run,
to eat it
don't we?
now. Yeah, we gotta go. Well, we got the minecart.
Where's it at? In this cave?
Here?
Oh, there it is, yeah. Minecart. Bust up.
Yeah, I nearly did the mines. Because I'm
Like,
used to
no, wrong place.
Yeah.
I always forget and I walk to my destination and then I'll ride a cart back.
Pickles!
That works. Okay.
Give me back my frozen tears. Well, we got a lot of rock again. Yep. Wow. Sorry. Hiccup.
A wild Teddy Ursa appeared.
Oh.
See, it tells you. Won't tell me.
Snuggle up Kimono. Ooh. Wow. What was that? Who did the commands? I didn't do that.
You did.
No.
It's still on the timer.
What?
Oh, it's a timer. Damn it, Mono. I was so confused.
Well, also I think when the word poke catch comes up, it may just pop up too. No, I think it's on the timer. That's what it is. It's the timer. There's several things on timer that just pop up randomly.
The bookseller's in town today. Remember, we do not have infinite money.
Yeah, we can't buy that stuff yet.
They're annoyed today. Picking spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Which chest did you put it back in? You said you put it back.
The mine one. The mine one instead of the wood one. I don't know why I did that. I should have put it in the wood one.
That's okay. Did you? Oh yeah, you already got it right, Rain. Wait, did we get a periwinkle? Rain is not here, is she? We didn't? You already checked it?
There's one in my chest in the house.
There wasn't anything in there.
You have one?
Yeah, I told you earlier you weren't listening.
Sorry. Then let's go to the raccoon. We got 5.
Okay.
We got 5 periwinkles. I'm so happy.
Alright, well, let me walk down there too, because I want to see what happens. Or should I hand it to him?
You could do it,
so
yeah,
the
then you
can
can
see
stream it. Yeah, they're in here.
Okay.
The blue one. Come on, Rain, let's go.
There was a bunch of periwinkles in there. Yeah, we're just saving the silver ones or something. There was a bunch of periwinkles in there.
You need 5.
I know, I grabbed 5. I left the silver ones.
Yeah, we need like 5 of the... 5
I'm not pushing anything.
We're waiting for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Hungry, need fish.
I think they should be flowers or something.
You need to like give them to him in his menu.
Oh, in his menu, not hand them to him.
Yeah. Before that goes wrong, just click him first, and then he'll spawn something.
Let's see what it says. Raccoon, thanks. Bobo, take this. Bobo.
It says Mono?
Powder melon. 25 powder melon seeds. Yes. Thank you, Raccoon. Now maybe I find a wife. Oh God.
Really?
That's what he says. So nothing else today.
Family?
Yeah,
Look,
he's got to find a wife.
If you click him, he does the.
It says he's got to find a family. Everybody can find a wife.
So cute. But he doesn't say he needs more stuff now. That's just it.
Now
right?
maybe I find a wife. Yeah. Aw.
Hmm.
He better find himself a little wife.
Right?
Fuck you, gold shine. Every time I walk to you, you disappear. Ow. Why? What did I do wrong? All the powder melons.
Oh, gotta plant them all. And then fertilize them after, because I'm slow about it.
Did we get all the trees down here in the forest?
That's it. It's empty. Dang it.
Oh, there's one left. There's 3 left. I don't know what they are, though. Acorns.
It's all fertilized.
Was acorns the one that you needed, like the trees?
Yeah,
Do you
the
need
oak
more of
trees,
them?
yeah.
Do you need more
I
of them?
mean, probably, but they don't grow this time of year, but I would save the seeds,
No, there's
yeah.
3 fully grown ones down at the sewer. I left them, but I just chopped through 2 of them because there weren't any things on them.
Oh.
But you could technically do 3 more, but then you'll have to check them. They're all the way down.
So we need tappers for that.
Neat. And tappers
Yeah,
are...
we need all of them because you can't craft kegs without that.
Okay. So there, yeah, we need. Well, we got the wood to do it. Now we just wait for the kitchen. It's fine.
Are you sure? Okay. So how many you say there's down there? 3?
I don't necessarily. There's 3 trees. There were 5, but now there are 3.
Okay. We'll tap the 3 that are left, and then I'll have to work on getting my wood again. All the way down in the sewers. That's good. I don't think I took care of the
Ooh,
cows.
mystery box.
If someone wants to take care of cows.
Did we need more hardwood, or are we good on hardwood?
We can always use more hardwood. I don't have anything I'm crafting at this moment, though. Because we only have 1 pig, so only needed 1 oil machine. And I don't think he'll find truffles until spring anyway.
Yeah. They have to be outside, right?
Mm-hmm. So these 3 trees just randomly down here are oak ones. Ones without leaves.
Yep. Because I left them before winter started. Because the other ones are chopped down just now, and I only got acorns, so... I got more winter or watermelon seeds.
Nice. Put them in the ground. Put them in the ground. Put some fertilizer down.
Wow, there's so much holly in the secret forest.
Probably because we don't check there regularly, you know, so it
Maybe.
just keeps multiplying and appearing everywhere.
I got chills to multiply. It's a page from someone's diary. There are only a few older bachelors in town, and none of them are perfect. Harvey's really anxious and weak, but I know he would make a loyal and devoted husband. He likes coffee and pickles. Elliot is a bit foppish and melodramatic, but he does have a nice chin. He likes crab cakes and pomegranates. Shane is messy and antisocial, but I think his gruff exterior is a defense mechanism, insulating his softness from the world. He likes beer pizza and pepper poppers. Oh, Lord. Old master, still searching for the sweetest taste. I don't know what that is. Wasn't that like a jam of something?
Sweet fruit.
Sweet fruit?
Yeah, it's a rare thing that we'll get.
Eventually.
I think it's the rare seed that we get it from.
Summer seeds?
No, rare seed.
Oh.
The trees have to grow so slow in the winter.
They don't grow at all, right?
I think they still grow. It's just really slow.
Maybe they changed it then. Did you go to the quarry?
No, I forgot to go back.
No, I can go there, but I was just asking.
Just forgot.
I got my price catalog book thing because it was cheap. so I could see the price of things.
Cows. Did anybody check the cows? Yes, because I forgot.
Mermaid show.
Yep.
I remember that one from
Mm-hmm.
you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You got mahogany seeds too, so that's good.
Making us no milk right now. Ooh, we finally got iridium milk.
Nice.
I will definitely leave that here. And well, actually, I'll go put it in the chest of gold items.
Oh. Oh well, got it back. Nice. What was the why do we have a gold chest? Actually,
We just
can't talk.
hoard beautiful gold items for prestigious things. I don't know.
Okay.
Probably because of the fair that we, can put stuff in each year.
Wouldn't iridium be better?
Yes, but we don't have iridium. That was the first iridium we've gotten.
Yeah, no, but we do have other iridium items, but we don't have an iridium chest.
We don't
That's
have any
why.
other iridium items.
I do.
Oh, well, I didn't know that.
Like
And
for
the gold
fishies and
chest.
stuff, we have quite a lot, I think.
Oh, well, y'all were just really good. I'm just now getting there on the doohickeys.
I've also sold quite a few of my iridium fish because I just
Shit,
keep
this was
catching
acorn
multiples.
too.
Yeah.
So
Probably
I
should save them
think
for the garage fair or whatever.
Mono, if you want, there's more acorn trees in the quarry, actually. I figured out which ones are the acorn ones.
Okay. Are they like the
It's the
ones
ones
without
with the most branches. So I think there's 4.
Okay.
And without the split. So it's a full like a full what is that? A prismatic shard. Oh, that needs to go into duplicator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Oh, that's the tree stump.
Yeah. So it's these, the ones with the full body. So I'm counting at least 3. I think the one up there is 1, 2. I'll have to delete this one.
Deleting the trees.
Yes. So yeah, that's 4. You can have 4 more.
Sweet.
Because I don't think the wild trees are I don't know what they would give. I don't know what this one is though.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that's not the
The
acorn
wild
one.
trees might give you a mossy seed. It's not guaranteed, but they might.
Oh, I got a mossy seed. Well, there you go, Rain.
You can add it
As
in
she
my
was
chest,
talking
'cause I know
about
I have
it.
somewhere.
I'll just leave all the trees that are there will be the trees you can put the things on.
Okay. And the rest you'll bring back as wood toward the house.
Yeah, we'll need the wood, so there's 4 trees you could put the tappers on.
Mm-hmm.
Basta.
I think I'll still shoot for the kitchen though, and then do the tappers.
Yeah, I have like nearly 300 wood, so.
Oh, do you? Sweet. We should have enough then. Just if you want to put the wood in the chest, and then I'll combine it and take it there in the morning.
Yeah, you could do the kitchen first, and then the see what's left.
Yep, for the tappers. Both catch the Pokemons.
Oh. Don't forget to sleep.
Yep.
I'm already in bed. I've been in
Bed
bed
is
for a few
important.
hours in game, but
Oh, Raid's a slacker.
I got distracted with Star Rail on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I'll snuggle up to you then.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. Level 7 foraging. Warp totem mountains. Tree
So do we wanna-
fertilizer. Oh, we got tree fertilizer.
So let's make this the last day then and do everything I want to do today and call it. Because I do have to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I have to go to sleep too. Sadly.
Part of me feels like I should do work tonight, but I don't want to.
Nah.
No. Squid Fest.
Squid Fest.
What the heck is a squid fest?
I
How do you
don't
know not
know,
to
but
do
I
the
need to
thing?
know what Squid Fest is.
Research the forgotten art of shadow divination. I require an item known as a void essence. Bring it to me, and you will reward it. You want a void essence?
It's the purple one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I saw. Sorry, I thought you said what is a void essence. I was like, oh? How can she not know?
Mm-hmm.
You've played Farmer Starter than I have.
It's like,
I'm assuming Squid Fest is at the.
yeah, I'm hoping it's not interrupting me going to see Robin.
It shouldn't. It's not like an actual like event like everything else.
I think it's like the other fishing festival.
Mm-hmm.
Pick it up.
Where did all the void essence go?
They're in the bat trunk right next to the wood trunk, the red one.
Oh! I usually always put them like in the
And with
in
the other
the-
stuff, yeah, I do too.
in the mining chest because yeah, you get the stuff mining.
Okay,
I
a
usually do
squid
too.
fishing challenge. Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Excuse me while I go and catch a shit ton of
9
squid.
o'clock in.
Have fun.
Hey,
Why is it
we
a
all
bad luck
three
day
caught it.
today?
Momo, Cat, and Turtle caught the. However
Woo!
you say that Pokemon's name.
Pyukumuku.
So it does sound like
Pyukum.
puke.
Yeah.
Puke.
Pyukumuku.
Kyukumuku.
Yeah.
Puke.
Oh, we don't have ill yet, so doesn't Marnie want amaranth?
Not yet. She will though.
But it's still one of the things she likes.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. We get in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Oh, pumpkins are done.
About time my house gets bigger.
We got coffee beans too.
Sweet.
Inventory full. Damn it. That's what I hate about the different stars in the game. Like the way your inventory gets full.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Berry rose.
Yeah, I also planted the mixed flowers.
How many spoons am I gonna find?
I don't know.
Keep finding rusty spoons everywhere. Who's been burying their spoons all over the farm? Oh, the cart person's here.
Ooh.
What did they have? They have blackberries, plum, pumpkin seeds,
Inventory's
battery
full.
pack. I have one
Ooh.
battery. How many batteries does it take though? It takes several, doesn't it?
What?
It takes several batteries, correct?
We didn't have any
For
yet?
the bus.
Or? For the what?
For the bus. How many batteries does it take for the bus?
We need batteries for the bus.
You only need one battery for that thing.
Oh, but we have lightning rods
And
though,
pop-
so I shouldn't buy.
We do, yeah. I
Should
didn't
I buy it
know
or
we
no?
need. No, we have them.
We have them?
I mean, how much is it?
2,000 gold. Do we want the apricot sapling?
Yes.
Yes.
Is it
Do we
cheap
need a-
or is it
Do we need a cherry?
1,500.
cherry? I'll
Just
check.
a cherry?
Just a cherry, not a
No,
tree.
probably not.
I'll check. We need a purple mushroom if she has one. We have we need apples, like 3.
We don't have
Yeah.
apples. We don't have purple mushrooms. We're purple cabbages.
Rabbit's foot. Oh, this is the last one, the bulletin board?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no. Then we need maki roll, fried egg, truffle. We need a red cabbage, purple mushroom,
Done.
rabbit's foot, and 3 apples.
Okay. All I bought was the tree.
I'm gonna put the... Oh no, that's a museum thing. Never mind. I thought that was a special thing. What do we do with the coffee beans? Do those go in a
We
keg
put
as
'em in the
well?
Oh,
keg.
girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make sure you keep a few so we can plant them, though.
Yeah, we can plant them.
Oh, I really didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, it
you
needs
get
5
multiples out of a
beans?
plant.
Oh, shit. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll put that back in the
See, it was
ground.
worth it buying that tree. I just got 1,000 of it back from the wizard.
Nice.
We only paid like 500 for the tree.
I don't have fertilizer with me. The fertilizer doesn't stay in the greenhouse, apparently. Or we didn't... Oh, no, it's because Rain... I don't think, Rain, you put down any fertilizer, right, when you
No, not on
first
some
hit
of
the
them.
ground.
Yeah, and you can't do it later, so I tried.
I'll get some.
Fine. I wasn't worried about most of those since they were mixed seeds anyway.
What do we do with the fairy roses?
You can sell them.
Really? Okay.
They're just pretty.
Like, yeah, they are.
It's just keeping some of everything you grow. That's what I do. I just keep some of everything I grow. But I didn't grow those. I think Rose did, didn't she?
No, they were part of the mixed flower seeds I threw in the greenhouse. I'm responsible for all these seeds in the greenhouse.
Except for the ones I planted.
Yeah.
Should I
The
fill up
original
the...
round is my fault.
I know, and then I copied in your footsteps.
Why aren't we not doing the starfruit ones in the...
Because we don't have a whole lot.
We can. Or we can wait until we make nothing but starfruit in there, either one.
Yeah, the way I had done it is I had thrown in all the mixed seeds so we could get rid of all the mixed seeds since we had so many.
Okay. I'll just do that too then.
I put a button. My fat baby.
I didn't take enough fertilizer. We need a chest up there. I hate walking back and forth. That's just my pet peeve.
Yeah.
Oh.
Make a chest, throw it in there.
I can't. I don't have wood. No wood.
Okay.
I mean, you could probably reuse one of those chests that we have there. Or actually, I wonder if I have an empty chest laying around anywhere.
Puddles. You cute baby. No.
Okay, there were way more open spaces than I took seeds with me. Oh, I forgot to go to the museum again.
Mm-mm.
Hi. Welcome home, mister. Okay. That's fine too, I guess. You make your biscuits. You make them biscuits.
They gave us a red mushroom, Rain. They need to give us a
I
purple one.
know.
Why is Sebastian not in his room? It's nearly 8 p.m. How dare?
He might be at the saloon.
Really? Oh, right, he goes there.
She is watching that boy like a hawk.
Yep. Because I got the frozen tears now, so I want to level him up as fast as I can.
Just remember, you can only give 2 gifts a week.
Alright, let me check. Fuck, never mind.
You can talk to him, though.
True.
Get your daily talking.
Me.
Yep, he's playing pool.
There he is. With Sam.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not very good. Nope, don't you dare. Sam hates mayonnaise.
Yep.
Are you telling me about
Most people
Sam?
don't.
I like you, not Sam. Just gonna
Sam's his
try
best
anyway.
friend.
Just leave it there. Let's see.
I'm gonna give you a cave carrot because I don't like you. I wonder what else Marnie likes.
This sapling yet?
I don't think. Oh,
Is
in
there any
winter?
rules for planting? Oh, in the greenhouse. Any rules for planting the sapling in the greenhouse?
Diamond. Pumpkin
Oh,
pie
we already
farm.
got something.
There's
Haven't we?
only so much I can do. I'm trying to catch fish
See.
and also pay attention to you, sir.
I think right there, because that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay.
I don't think I
There we
have
go.
anything she likes. No. Nope.
Momo, before you go home, can you check the calendar in the town?
Yes.
I'm still down here at the ocean trying to catch squid. I've caught
Melon
quite a
jelly.
few.
It's Squidfest, it says. And
Mhm.
tomorrow again. And Slime
Sweet.
Hunter, Slate, and Red Slimes.
Okay.
What did you want to know exactly?
Just the squid fest.
Oh yeah, tomorrow again.
Okay, cool.
Oh, we have a new choose one. Gus famous omelet. He needs 2 dozen eggs. Or
Gus.
okay.
Oh, I just got a pearl
Nice.
as a reward.
Oh no, where did Jess go? Oh my god, it's all the way over here. Wait, maybe I empty it first.
Mm,
I'll take this one with me and just put it behind this bush. Checking all the places.
hmm.
One day I will open you all. Because I
1
really want to now.
a.m.
Oh shit.
1 a.m. Oh, ultra catch.
Oh shit.
You do.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it home. I might though.
I think we will. Getting cocky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Oh, mama.
I even said hi to the cat. You're welcome. Also, each one of us paying attention to the cat ups it. That's the friendship for all of us.
Ooh, nice.
I don't even get to go to bed in my own bed. I gotta go to bed in Rain's house.
Come join us.
I made it to Rain's house.
Oh, you didn't make it again, sleeping on the floor, or did
No,
you? Oh,
I
you
made
did.
it.
She did.
I made it to Rain's house.
I could do Fisher or Trapper. Maybe I should.
Do Fisher.
You did Fisher, so I'll do Trapper maybe.
No, I took Trapper because we needed the
Oh,
crab pots. So you can take
okay.
Fisher.
I could do Fisher, and then I can sell the fish as well.
I think the way it works is it just goes for the entire farm, not just the individual.
I don't know. I think it's an individual, but I'm not sure.
See.
And I can make a keg and an oil maker now too. That would be cool though if it stacks.
But yeah, I think that's it. If you guys are good.
You're special.
No. I want to say I think those periwinkles are used in some kind of crafting thing too.
Oh, so we
Probably.
shouldn't sell them?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Ooh. Ow. Oh, fuck, those horns are sharp.
I'm gonna not know what to do when I wake up to play the next game and I'm in Rain's house.
Yeah, so the Fisher one affects everyone as long as you're in the game, so we're fine.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, I just found a Reddit thing from 2 years ago. So rancher, tiller, artisan, fisher, angler, forester, tapper, and blacksmith and gemologist affect all of us. The only things that affect a single person is like things that make things cheaper to craft. Or like
okay.
yeah.
So then the things with these chests don't actually work.
No, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Unless the person isn't in the game. But since Mono is always gonna be in the game.
Yeah.
We could get rid of the white chest.
Mm.
And then we can put that one in the
Yeah, you could do something else with it.
Greenhouse.
Yeah. And for the chances I might not be here because I have the farming uppies,
That's okay.
you could put it in the green one. And the fishing.
Greenhouse.
Squid fest.
In the greenhouse?
No, the green chest next to the selling thing. Wait, I'm doing things, but are we doing another day or not?
I wasn't going to, but if you guys really want to.
My squids.
It sounds like Momo does. I mean, it sounds like Rain does.
She wants the Squidwards.
It's fine. I mean, we just have to remember that I have squids I have to catch.
Squidfest squids.
Mono could. Oh no, well, we're not using the mods. Never mind.
Oh, here, I'll just exit so I don't get caught up with all the squids. We can wait until.
I'm curious now. I want to go see it, but we can still play it next time.
He's left.
Okay, I'll leave. I'll leave. I'll do everything again.
Where was the squid thing at?
I exited.
At the beach. But basically what it is
it's easier to catch them.
Normally squids you can only catch between 6 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Right.
So
they have it like all the time.
You can catch them throughout the day, and depending on what category depends on how many points you get, and then that bases your rewards. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's great.
There's tons of day things. Oh, it's cute.
Right?
That's cute.
Oh, I didn't see that either, so that's good. Wait, did you buy things? Oh no, you have to.
You don't have to buy anything. You literally just fish the squids, and depending on how many you get, depends on your
Oh, we
point.
haven't been to the
Like,
right of the
right?
beach in a while. Look at the
Oh,
right side of
Jude,
the beach.
what is that pink? What is that orange thing?
A
Oh,
nautilus
that's the
shell.
Nautilus shell.
All right.
All
Yeah.
the squigglies. That's adorable, though. I love the little.
Yeah.
Is that an alarm?
Yeah.
Why am I hugging and licking myself? That's just weird.
Why not?
I mean, I'm not a cat.
Alrighty.
Mono's the cat.
So that is it. Thank you guys for hanging out and lurking during stream. And I will catch you guys Friday when we stream again. If not before then, but it'll probably be Friday because of work. We'll see though. I'm gonna squeeze in some special streams somewhere there with the probably some
my.
silly 1 or 2 hour streams to play with slime or something.
What is that?
Slime goop. Swap phone.
Where did you get that?
This came in the St. Jude stuff. Thank you so much for 21 months. Yeah. Yeah. So I made it.
You got 2 of them?
Yeah, it came in my St. Jude's box from St. Jude.
Nice.
So I can play with slime glue. And you put little shells in it, I guess, and little beads. and
Really?
glitter. Yeah. So I get to be, and there's some more beads. And then sparkly things. So this one's like a mermaid one. If you look real close, they put it all together in a little cup together, all the stuff, and then they like make, I don't know,
Aww.
colorful stretchy slime. So yeah. Fever's
fun.
gone, I'm so glad. You've been so sick. So yeah. I don't know. That or I could give them away to a kid. I don't know. But I did put them as a redeem, so I'm gonna do it. So. And then during one of my art streams, I'll start painting this guy that came from them as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll start painting him.
Yay! No more sickles.
But yeah. Thank you guys. Yes, I'm glad you're feeling better, Six. And thank you, Rain. Thank you. What is
You can raid if you want
very much.
to.
Let's see. Hypes and stuff. If I can find the right buttons.
Hi, Boo.
Yeah. Hype. And find myself here.
Cookies are riot.
Cookies are riot. Okay. Exclamation riot. Cookies are riot. I don't know if anybody can click that or not.
I can. But not the cookies are riot. I just get rah.
Oh.
I gotta find somebody to read.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, it's raid.
Save. Where's Artist? Why isn't she streaming? Just kidding.
Right?
She needs to be streaming so we can raid her.
Isn't Jammy Whammy?
Mm-mm. She's not on.
You want me to check if there's someone I know?
You can if you want.
If you don't.
Ooh.
Let's see. You know someone?
Kaylin is doing Final Fantasy 14 and a cosplay today.
Oh, that's cool. You drop her link in there. In chat. And then we'll grab it.
Hey, Kimono's live.
But yes, Riot!
I do know Huskin is live, but I'm not sure if you know them. You do.
I know.
Huskin, yeah. Cosplay sounds cool though. I need to copy and paste the Riot things too.
Yeah, it's Demon Slayer.
Who's cosplaying?
See.
Kaylin. One of my friends.
Ooh.
She's playing Final Fantasy 14 for the very first time, and it's great. I love it. She did choose a cat. Boy.
Pipe.
Girl.
We just gotta wait on Rain to drop the link in there.
I tossed it in your
Probably in your
chat over
DMs.
here.
Oh.
Oh, well then I gotta copy and paste again. Dang it. I was trying to hold my copy and paste from my right. Oh, it's alright.
Did you know you can do Windows R and then you have all your copy pastes for today?
That's
if you have that activated.
I don't know that I do. Yeah.
That's
I really like that
run.
function. That's so helpful.
That's like our run command for us here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Windows V. Right, that's paste.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Windows
then you turn
V.
it on.
Yeah, turn it on, and then after that, it will save the whole day.
Dang.
All right.
Sorry, I said the wrong letter.
I don't think I'm following her. I don't know that I've ever been to her stream.
It's gotta be a raid and a follow.
Yeah. No, I've never been to one of her streams. Cause Rain doesn't stream and raid people anymore, so.
Oh, hush.
Oh, you didn't do raid.
Yeah, I will. But yeah,
you did.
good night all. Thank you again. Thank you. I'm gonna pull up the end street and do the. Can I do the credits over this? I don't think I can. No, I don't have it here. Thor, as I'm raiding out, thank you so much for the 15.
Oh no!
Holy cow, Vital, come with us. Talk to you next time, Vital. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Join the raid.
To see you. Yes. Join us. Yeah, it timed me out.